So who is England's best right back? We need to talk about this now that Kyle Walker is most likely going to miss the World Cup, which leaves the door wide open for multiple players. So stick around as we dive deeper into this. So the right back, whatever you want to call it, for England is now kind of up for debate because Kyle Walker being out now, again, is going to make it slightly different for Southgate to make a decision on who he's going to start. Now, I know he loves his right backs. There, I believe, was 6 at one point. There still might be more added to this list. But that, again, now opens up the window for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Trippier, and there's most likely going to be some other players that come in. But for the most part, I think it's between, again, Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Reece James. Now, I myself am a bit biased since I am a Chelsea fan, but again, I'm going to look at this hopefully through an unbiased support when I talk about these players. So first off, let's talk about Trippier. Now, I think all these players, again, have their own attributes, and again, we'll try to hit on all those. Now, Trippier itself is a very solid player. I think defensively-wise, he's a good player as well, makes good decisions, is up in the age a little bit, can hit a free kick as we've seen multiple times through Newcastle last season, and along that can play a great cross into the box. The only thing is pace-wise is maybe one of his downfalls, and again, when we're comparing that to Kyle Walker, pretty much anyone is going to be lacking that because Kyle Walker was a freak of nature when it came to pace, but as we've seen time and time now, it seems like injuries are stacking up for this player, which again is going to be very difficult for England, and not even just England, Manchester City as well, because what Kyle Walker was able to do was pretty much shield off that and complete one side. And we even seen Mbappe last season in the Champions League switch from one side to the other because Kyle Walker was able to shut him down, and he's done this throughout his entire career, not just Mbappe, but through other players that he's done, because again, he has such a phenomenal pace that he can catch up to most players. So again, this may be a big, massive issue for Southgate, for England in the World Cup, which is why I think it comes then down to Trent Alexander-Arnold and Reece James, and I think Reece James is going to be the better option. But again, let's talk about Trent Alexander, what he brings to the table. Now, as we've seen lately, Trent Alexander-Arnold's defensive skills have been lacking, to say the least. I mean, when we look at him at Liverpool, he's definitely one of the main issues. Now, that being said, though, going forward, he may possibly be one of the best right backs who can play a deadly ball into the box. Obviously, we've seen him score multiple free kicks. I would say he's better than Trippier, even though, again, Trippier is a great free kick taker. Trent Alexander-Arnold can just hit a free kick from pretty much anywhere. And the same with that, he can play a long ball, pinpoint accuracy to find players. So again, whether he does transition into the midfield, I would not be surprised with that because again, the more and more we see of this player, the more and more I feel like his defensive skills have gotten worse and worse. And maybe just at Liverpool, that's the issue. Maybe because Virgil van Dijk hasn't been playing as well and all the other players haven't been playing well. But same thing, if that happens in England's side, it's going to be very difficult for England to get back into games because, again, if they are lacking on one side than the other, teams are going to oversaturate that other side then and, again, tack them on that right wing, which, again, if Trent Alexander-Arnold cannot handle that, that is going to be a massive issue for them to figure out. So, like I said, my humble opinion, Reece James is going to be the best bet. Now, I think Reece James does have his capabilities. Yes, he can hit a free kick, but he's not obviously as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm not going to disagree with that. Passing-wise, he's fairly good. Again, not as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold. But what he does bring to the table is his pace, his build, his intelligence. Again, this guy is fairly similar to Kyle Walker. Again, Kyle Walker is quicker. We all know that. But Reece James can definitely pretty much catch up to most players as well and can shoulder a player when needed to. Again, the guy is built like a tank. Compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold and Trippier, he's definitely more muscular. Again, he's built more like Kyle Walker. Along those lines, the guy does make phenomenal runs and always seems to find the space to get chances. Now, whether that is making overlapping runs, playing a 1-2 pass with a different player, again, this guy is very intelligent when it comes to the ball. Doesn't really lose the ball that often when he does play passes. Comparing that to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who does lose the ball quite often, but again, he's making more of those decisive passes, those last passes into the box. So again, it's the numbers skewed a little bit, but still, Reece James definitely knows what he's doing. And again, he's able to hug that line when he needs to, also able to suck into the midfield as well. He can do it all. He knows exactly where to be. Now, that being said, I don't know if Southgate will change his tactics. Again, I highly doubt it. I think he'll still stick with 5 in the back with a right wing back. Now, whether he does pair up Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold, with Reece James being the RCB and Trent Alexander being the right wing back, that could also be an option, because then you're getting the best of both worlds. You're obviously getting Trent Alexander-Arnold going forward, who again can be very creative and attacking wise. And you also have Reece James, who can absorb a lot of the attacking coming from the opposing team. So again, this makes it very interesting to know what Gareth Southgate is going to do. And the big issue is that there's no more games to figure this out. The next game that England do play is going to be in the World Cup. So therefore, the first match, I don't know what Southgate's going to do, if he's going to go to a back 4, which I don't think is highly likely, but do a back 5. But again, if he's going to play maybe 3 CBs, then Reece James, or Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, it's very difficult. But again, if we're looking at these players and who is the best option right now, again, looking at the Premier League, Champions League, and everything, Reece James should be number 1, Trent Alexander-Arnold being number 2, and then Trippier being number 3. But again, Southgate does have his reasons to pick players even when they're not playing the best. So who knows, he may just pick some other random player and stick them in there. But right now, Southgate has a big issue to figure out. Hopefully he can figure out sooner than the first match of the World Cup. But again, who knows, because again, he has no time to tinker around with the squad. All he can do now is watch players in the Premier League and see how well they play. So I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below if you think Reece James is the best right back option, Trent Alexander-Arnold's the best option, Trippier, or if there's another player that you think could step into this role for England and beat these other players out. I want to know what you guys think. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. It helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself. And that is it, and I will see you next time.